we are into the biggest letdown. Now, last year, let me give you the rundown really quickly of last year's winner of this award. I don't know that we did this in 2011, but we should have if we didn't. Last year, the nominees were Diablo 3, Tribes Ascend, and Kingdoms of Amalur Reckoning, with Tribes Ascend being the winner. And it may be a repeat winner this year. It could do it. It could do it. So Tribes Ascend, after falling off the map last year and being a great game.
Sorry, Todd Harris.
Yeah, he's going to listen to this one. We're in trouble again. So, all right, let's start in on this list. Two Brothers, Hex, you can speak to this. I don't think the rest of us played this game. I also don't know that this makes a cut. But explain why.
It probably won't make the... I mean, it doesn't even need to be on this list, I guess. But Two Brothers, Nick Jenkins and I saw at PAX East, and the developers are totally cool. They're super nice guys. They'll talk to you about anything you want to know about their game. They actually came out to one of my episodes of The Bearded Gamer. We played through an early demo of it, had some fun with it, talked to the guys. They want to come back and do the same thing for their next game. Like, I can't say enough good things about Axe Studios, but the game when it launched was really, really buggy. And if you don't know what type of game it is, it's like a top-down Zelda-esque action RPG.
Kind of thing.
Yeah. So
RPG, RPG. RPG.
Life is like a box of chocolates when you get an RPG. You never know what you're gonna get.
And it has my favorite soundtrack this year. Their soundtrack is fantastic. And Nick and I talked about this. It's a soundtrack that has a really kind of disappointing game attached to it.
It almost feels like I really hate to say this because I still think if this game is patched, it could be great. But it feels that the soundtrack is honestly wasted on this game.
Ooh, wow.
Yeah, and that's I mean, I don't think I'd go that far because the game, like, after a couple patches, the game was a little more playable, and it's still a fun game. It has a really interesting concept on like how they explore death in video games. And the game is fun, but like they got on greenlight. They finally got greenlit after a really long campaign. It took forever to get Steam keys, and they've been out over a month. And I literally just got my key this week on Humble Store. Like that was really disappointing.
It's a fucking key, dude. Come on.
Yeah. Hey, man, KBMOD's on the review section for that game on Steam. So hey, we've gotten somewhere with KBMOD. Look at that.
Are we seriously?
Yeah, KBMOD has the first quote. The first quote.
Oh, fuck, that probably came
from
me. I almost guarantee you that came from me. Hold on, now I have to look this up.
It's about the soundtrack.
It's definitely for me because I reviewed the soundtrack for the website.
You did. That's true.
Let me. I have to see this now.
That's funny.
Yep, that is absolutely wow. All right, I can quit the business. I have a review on Steam.
You've arrived.
That's for a game that you're submitting as biggest letdown.
And it's that's karma just slapping me in the face right there. So it can be cut this round. It's a good game. It's just extremely disappointing. Like it could have been. I feel like if they had waited until early 2014 and just given the end of the year for polish, like a little bit of polish and maybe like a little more expanded beta. Like it was a Kickstarter game, so you could play the beta. They gave me a beta copy of it, and it is fun. It's a solid game, but it's not what it could have been with a little more polish.
Yeah. So we're striking it though because we're on the review of it. No, we're striking it because I don't think it's going to match up against some of the.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't at all.
Yeah.
This next one, we've already talked about it a little. SimCity launch. And SimCity in general, that game...
It will go down in history.
Absolutely cannot be removed from this list.
How hype were we
for
this game?
There's a whole thread.
We talked about it for like 12 podcasts straight every time.
Yeah. Every time Glassbox had an update...
I think everybody was excited about it, too. Every single person that was on this podcast wanted that game to be good.
Yep.
SimCity, and then it wasn't even. Well, what sucked was at the beginning I was like, yeah, this is all right. I mean, the launch issues suck, like that really sucks. And then my Origin account got hacked, and that sucked even more. But the launch issues are well renowned now. As,
right.
By the way, for the person saying SimCity is an awful game, agreed. This isn't about being an awful game though. This is about being a letdown. This game ended up not being the SimCity game that really, and there were numerous articles from us, from actual news websites, basically detailing, and podcasts that we did, basically being like, man, if this game was only SimCity and not sim this part of the map for a little bit till the traffic breaks down and you can't really do anything anymore.
Until your city dies, because you can't figure out what the fuck, like, what do you want, you fucking idiots? I've planned this thing from oh god, so frustrating just thinking about how many failed cities I had.
So I mean, this may win, but it's got
to me
on.
Well, we'll go through the rest, but it's up there, dude.
I'm actually gonna slightly
could not care less about the third one down.
I'm gonna alter this or
okay
in news at all. If Brandon were here, this would probably be his number one. But no Doom 4 or really any news whatsoever from id Software. And in fact, the only Doom 4 news we got this year was that it was being scrapped and restarted.
Yep.
So
and now
Carmack left id, so now Carmack's not going to have input as much on Doom 4, which is also terrifying and scary. So
I just say good riddance.
That game's going to be shitballs.
The hype train's running.
I just don't think this can make the cut because at this point, what were you expecting from Doom 4? I mean,
I guess part of it is
it sucks for sure.
It's the 20th anniversary of Doom this year.
Yeah.
So what better time would there have been to be like, okay, here's Doom 4 and it's back to
news.
Doom.
Here's some real news. Here's a screenshot.
Right. Well, so then this year all that information about like the old version of Doom 4 kind of trickled out that had like these aren't really things we're actually developing anymore, and they showed these screenshots of like a Doom 2 Hell on Earth kind of overrun with demons that looked pretty cool, and they were like, no, this is nothing we're actually doing anymore. No, we scrapped all this. So it was like, well, god fucking damn it, id, come on.
What was Doom 3? 03?
Doom 3 was 04.
05? Okay.
04. 2004.
Doom 3 wasn't totally shit. It was a tech demo.
Yeah,
it was too dark.
It's just a basic corridor shooter. It wasn't it's not anything special.
There's cheap ass monster closets. You want to talk about stupid game design?
Yeah,
cheap monster closets. Fuck that, dude. Talk about cheap.
Yeah.
Fuck.
It's sad. Even Doom 3 is sad because I actually played Doom on my stream this week because it's the 20th anniversary, and I went back through it. The level design in that game and the way that the shooting, like everything about that game holds up. You can go play Doom or Doom 2 right now, and it's still fun. Even if you played it 100 times, Doom 3 I couldn't do that with. And the fact that they're not pursuing that universe further to make a game like that again is really sad to me.
Doom 3 was a fucking extremely forgettable experience. It was a subpar.
Like they tried to make it story oriented and it didn't work. The PDAs were kind of annoying because you had to sit in there and listen to them inside of the PDA. You couldn't listen to an audio log while you were walking around. That was just frustrating.
It would have been great. It would be great if Doom 4 was Doom 1.
But just visually,
in this fucking nuts id Tech 6 or whatever it's going to be engine.
That would be cool.
Like, just make it Doom 1 again. Fuck a story. I don't care about any of that. Just make it Doom. Like, puzzles and, like,
Yeah.
Actually, I want to correct something I said. I said you couldn't listen to PDAs or audio messages outside of the PDA, but you could. It's just that they didn't mix the audio to where the game sound would go lower than the audio log you were listening to. So if you shot anything, you could not hear the audio log that was playing.
Right.
Nope.
So you had to sit still and do nothing to listen to it, effectively.
So, up next, I don't think that can cut though, because really, how much worry? So
yeah,
it's a letdown.
I mean,
it is a letdown for sure, and a big one.
You
and
can definitely cut it.
Carmack leaving as the final nail in that coffin.
Yeah, but he's going to work on Oculus, so.
Well, that's a good thing.
Every dark cloud has a silver lining.
This next one, I think, has to stay. Now, you guys can try to convince me otherwise. BF4, a game that I love. I have 120 hours in this fucking game. But you cannot excuse the issues that this game has had still happening to people. Every patch they put out, they're like, we fixed that shit, and it's not fixed. Like, and actually, I'm not a person who's crashing all the time. I'm not even one of these people who are affected. But the fact is,
you're no
it is
Brandon.
happening.
But,
it is happening.
I'm having it too since China Rising. So
it's the fact that they've stopped their DLC progression until they fix their problems. Like that's
admirable, and that makes me not Yeah, that makes me not want to make it the biggest letdown because at least the developers care. It would be more of a letdown if they just were like, whatever.
Also,
we don't give a fuck.
how good is the game that I did crash in the beginning, like between every map, like a lot of people did, and I still kept playing.
Yeah,
so, like.
See, I didn't have any of the launch issues. Like, I think I crashed twice total, except for that one map where you would lose sound randomly. I never experienced any of those problems.
So what were you saying, Blacklight?
I just think, as annoying as that is, and it's still relatively new. It's been out, what, a month? And they've said they're working on it. It is a massive game. I mean, you can't really compare that to like the massive launch of SimCity. I just think it can't possibly stack up.
No, it's not the same at all.
And with Battlefield 4, there's the problems. There's crashing and shit, but you still got the game that you thought you were gonna get.
Yeah,
exactly.
You still got Battlefield.
Yeah, that's true.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's true.
So this next one, I think, is conflicted. I re-added it actually because people in chat are talking about it. Rise of the Triad. Now, we were hype on this game, and by we I mean I think it was really just me. But
no, I was there with you.
I was excited to play it. I watched a lot of coverage of it, and I was ready to play it.
And let me just say this, because a lot of people have this game wrong, like for how they had imagined it. When I talked about it, all I talked about how was the developers were like, we're staying true to the original Rise of the Triad. If you play the single player, it's the original Rise of the Triad. They just did it again. It's just ludicrous and like ridiculously fast, and it's an old school FPS game. It's incredibly fast. If you got that game expecting some crazy good multiplayer experience, you bought it for the wrong reason. It didn't let me down whatsoever.
Well, the problem is that it wasn't that it was just not a good multiplayer game. It was a multiplayer game that didn't fucking work at all. Like, the game had terrible optimization. The frame rate was garbage. Like, I was expecting over 100 frames, and I was dropping all of the time. And the amount of video options that they gave you for that game, they were confusing, and I had to look a lot of them up because they were terms that I had never even heard of before for games. And when it comes to enabling video options, like so many things I had to look up to understand what I was disabling. Yeah. I don't know. I could not play it past the first day because I couldn't get the game to run properly. It was very annoying.
That game actually has an achievement. If you turn on everything to the ludicrous setting, it unlocks an achievement for the game that says, holy shit.
See, Sean with a great point. If you were let down by Rot, your expectations were too high. It was a $15 game, people. It's not like you spent fucking...
Well, it's also a $15 game that I was only able to put half an hour into. So, I mean, that's $15 lost.
That's true. That is true.
Yeah, I don't know. I really enjoyed the multiplayer. And yeah, I'm sorry, the single player. The multiplayer was absolutely garbage, and there's still a decent game attached to it. It's still really fun. It's got that old school arcadey first-person shooter feel. I don't think it really deserves the spot on this list, unless you play it specifically for the multiplayer, which was a mistake.
Yeah, and this is, I think Sean's making a really good point, and that's a point that a lot of reviewers also missed. It did run like shit, I'm not denying that. It ran like shit for me on launch. We couldn't get in servers at all. The launch night was a disaster. This game was not meant to be some reimagining of Rise of the Triad. Like next-gen Rise of the Triad. No, it was meant to be the original game in Unreal 3. Like, that's it. It was an ode to the original. They got the original soundtrack guys, like, all this stuff. I think if it was a letdown to you, it was a letdown for the wrong reasons.
Well, and also in the fact that when I saw a lot of coverage of it, they were doing a lot of multiplayer stuff, and the multiplayer looked fun, and it did look smooth when they did coverage of it, and it just did not pan out that way.
Well, like what's weird about it is I played it at PAX East, and it played fine.
Me too, yeah.
Like the frame rate was fine.
Fantastic at PAX East.
Hey, you know what's great? Same exact story with me and Brink. Brink was amazing on the show. It was fucking great.
Oh man, we won't get fooled again. We won't get fooled again.
Oh yeah,
we said.
Yeah. That's why I'm sitting here really holding my breath for Extraction, because Extraction is the same exact story. I'm looking forward to it. I loved all the concepts and the game design, and it played fucking amazing at PAX.
Talk about
and now I'm just there.
Where's the fucking Extraction beta at?
Yeah, no.
Oh god, yeah. I don't even have access to it. Where the fuck is
I'm in the beta. It's just closed.
Yeah, but they promised everybody who, I think it was everybody who won their game at PAX, like on their team, was supposed to get access, and maybe I misinterpreted what they said, but you were supposed to get access on October 10th, and I still don't have access. I won 2 games that night.
Here's what I would say also, as far as this is an award. I think we can make this a nominee if people feel like it should be.
I don't think so.
But
not compared to
the other stuff. I also think it's a really minor game. Like, if this, all right, here's the deal. If this game had been $30,
yeah,
then this definitely makes it. Like, I know you got ripped off essentially, Mark. But if this game had been $30, how mad? Even I would have been upset if this had been $30.
The other thing with it is they're still supporting it. Like, if you follow Dave Oshry on Twitter, or you look at their Steam news, they still do weekends where it's like, here's a bunch of new maps.
I haven't even played it in a while. I want to play the whole single player, but no, it's not. And by the way, don't get me wrong, people. It's not a great game, but it's not. I don't.
It's Rise of the Triad from 10 years ago with modern-ish skins on it.
So also the shit that's coming up on this list, as far as winning this award, this does not compete.
No.
All right, this next one, could it win for a second year in a row? Tribes officially dead. This
fucking
year.
Hi-Res stabbing us in the heart over and over again.
I can't wait till this is playing over the studio PA this week.
I kind of knew it was coming. It didn't really. I didn't.
Now see, now
they're
Tribes is going to get.
Doing well.
Yeah. It's actually, and if you put it in that light, it already won last year for this. We kind of knew it was coming. So in that way, it can't be a letdown. It's still really disappointing. But
well, and the fun part is that this could also get into a third year if Hi-Res decides to shut down the user SDK, the unofficial SDK that was released that allows people to have their own dedicated servers. If they shut that down, that's another fucking disappointment.
That could be third year.
That could be 3 years in a row.
Yep.
They really need to just be like, okay, if they want an SDK at this point,
here's your source code. See ya.
Give it out.
Just release the source and be done.
Todd, just give it out.
Yeah, I think the only problem that they would have is if the user SDK somehow allows people to circumvent the weapon system and buying things. Like if they take away the progression of.
Right. So when that came out and said like, oh, there's this user SDK, I went and looked up some other information because they had kind of talked about, maybe we're going to put an SDK out there. And that was the one thing they said, like, we kind of want to do it, but if we find it's going to let people circumvent any of our paid DLC or any of the progression or let them cheat in some way, that's where our reservation is, and we don't really know what to do at this point.
Yeah, like I just really hope that it's just servers and people maybe make some new maps and we can maybe have some servers that we can still play Tribes on, because I would love to play that game again. I had so much fun.
It was such an incredible game. Just put it in the hands of the community, please.
Yep. Let it happen.
You're not doing anything with it.
I'm going to keep this one as a nominee. I don't think it's going to win, but I'll keep it as a nominee. The next one is a very KBMOD specific.
Yeah, Jesus. I put it on.
This one cannot stay, but it's hilarious that it's on here because the game's too small to really
Special Forces Team X. You were really fun.
God, it was really such a fun game.
People playing it.
I still wish people would play the game. It's so much fun. It's one of those games that if you reviewed it, you would give it like a 6 or a 7. Yeah, but it's one of those games that if you get a group of people together, you're gonna have way more fun than most games that you play. It's fucking cheesy and it's ridiculous. And the dogs, they're fun. Yeah. Fuck you, Call of Duty. Special Forces dogs are the best dogs.
Real fun dogs.
This is unique in that this is a game that I'm pretty disappointed in that I didn't even pay for. I didn't even pay a
I didn't either. I got a code.
And I'm still upset.
The game was so good. It was so much fun.
It's fine. We're going to play it again. We're going to get to play it again when Phantom Army comes out. It's going to be the same game.
So now that we've offended both studios that are quite close to us, Zombie and Hi-Res.
Sorry, Garrett.
Well, this is not the studio's fault, though.
Actually, it's more the publisher, which would be Atari in this case.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
Who basically just threw this shit under the bus.
Like Mark said.
Blah, you were at PAX with us when we were at the party when we all got to play it for the first time, right?
Yeah.
The zombie party?
I don't think I got to play it, but I was there.
Yeah.
No, it was so fun.
He wasn't at Prime. No, he wasn't at Prime last year.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. No, I wasn't there.
I was there, yeah. But, yeah, it was awesome. We had a great time.
I played it at last year's LAN, not this year's LAN.
So.
When we all got it at early access. And Zombie did exactly what they should have done. They did everything they needed to do. The game was fun. They made it fun. It just nobody fucking knew it existed.
It just showed up on Steam out of nowhere. There was literally zero marketing.
Yep.
I was actually really surprised when it came out. I was like, oh, is this happening already? Is this all right?
I think we're keeping this because this is the KBMOD podcast.
Yeah, that's true.
And this was a personal letdown. Very
personal vendetta.
Also, I get tweets from people every now and then. Hey, man, we should have a community night. Let's do it.
We should.
And I'm like, yeah, we fucking actually should. And
Let's be the force that revives this game.
I want to vote to strike this one from the list because I'm afraid Jared Garrettson will punch me in the face the next time he sees me.
Well, now, duly noted.
I'm sure he feels the same way because he knows how good that game is.
Yep.
He knows.
Also, by the way, they're re-releasing this game as a game called Phantom Army as a free-to-play.
Really?
Yeah, it's definitely the same fucking game.
Well, I hope that works because it's so much fun, and I really wish that people saw something of it to convince them that it would be a great time. And it was what, 15? Actually, I think it's only $10. It's very cheap. Yep. And I played it for I played it for like 10 hours or so before the servers were unoccupied and I couldn't find any more games. I tried to put as much time as I could into it.
It also wiped out people's progress a ton.
Yeah, that was a big problem when it first released.
So. Yeah, man, I mean, with the only thing that can save SFTX is a prop hunt mod. That's true. Attach a prop hunt to it. Jesus, you're good. Oh.
All right, this next one we talked about. I don't know that it can win, but it's a bad sign, especially for crowdfunding. Dark Matter, we already talked about it a little bit earlier. Yeah. Game that came out is Kickstarter funded, I believe, and was not finished, but nobody knew it wasn't finished till someone tried to beat the game. So that's a bad sign. That's a letdown for crowdfunding for sure. I don't think it competes with the rest of this. But I wanted to bring it up. We already brought it up in the previous segment, but
all of these bad apples ruining the name of Kickstarter. Like it's so sad when shit like this, because these things get way more coverage than the good things that come from Kickstarter.
Yep. Yeah.
So. Oculus Rift. That's all I'm gonna say. They raised another $75 million in funding this year. That's a Kickstarter success right there.
Right.
Yeah.
And I ordered mine. So couldn't wait any longer. Just couldn't do it. Had to buy it.
That's awesome, man.
That is awesome.
Had to buy it.
So this next one is a sordid tale of misplaced money, horrible licensing, and we already talked about this game. Alien Colonial Marines, a finalist for our worst game of the year, also has to be a letdown because if you like the AVP games and you like the Alien franchise, you were in, man. You were in on this game, and the trailers that weren't actually the game were really good looking, and all that kind of stuff. Turned out to be one of the worst games ever.
It's pretty bad.
So, Aliens Colonial Marines, I think it has to make this list just due to all the shit that's come out since.
Yeah, the drama behind it is insane.
Yeah.
It's worth keeping on for now.
So, we'll keep that on. I'm erasing this last one because the main offender is not a PC game.
Yeah.
That hex. We had microtransactions and things on here, but Forza 5 is an Xbox One game, so...
they still deserve the hate.
They do deserve the hate. If you haven't heard about this.
That's right.
Forza 5 charging $60 for one car. Congratulations.
Fuck yourself.
So why don't you just pay half of a monthly car payment for this car in the game?
Yeah. God, that's so true. God, that's fucked up.
You actually have to pay them for the gas that you put in the car in the game to drive it.
So, I think we have our final 4 nominees. Aliens, Colonial Marines, money spent on Borderlands 2 instead. Moved through about 6 studios. Just a fucking mess. Gearbox is being sued over it. Alien franchise, lots of people disappointed by that one. Special Forces Team X, our own personal baby of a nominee here at KBMOD. And then also somewhat of a personal thing as well, Tribes officially announced to have no updates in the near future whatsoever, focusing on Smite. Can't blame them, but we're still real disappointed because we like that game quite a bit.
And we also we like Smite too. Let's be clear.
We do.
Yeah, I like Smite.
We're all PC gamers at heart, and every PC gamer who's been playing games for an extended period of time had a good time with the original Tribes.
So.
Not Tribes 2.
And then what I would assume, unless someone can prove me wrong, the winner
Yes,
SimCity.
absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
I have to
That's
vote
the one.
for it. I just love SimCity too much, and I ended up not even buying SimCity. And the general consensus is I made the right choice.
You
I don't feel good
saved
about
You did. I don't own it
$60.
either.
Yep, you
Like,
guys
what the
saved yourself some money and you did well. The
SimCity
biggest
2000.
Yeah,
disappointment.
There was nothing that got any more coverage than this game for how fucking badly they screwed up their launch.
This was a game that got fucked so bad that screwed the pooch so bad. Other games were capitalizing on its terror. Tropico 4 went on sale and was like, why don't you try a sim game that isn't shit? Like, that's how bad it was. That's how bad and high profile this screw up was.
I just and also what Hex brought up with them every couple months being like, yeah, we're thinking about mod tools, we're thinking about unlimited city size. Every couple months they're like, yeah, maybe we'll throw you a bone, dudes, and then it never fucking happens. So
When a publisher has to give you a free game to placate you for buying one of their games,
this
that
was
is the
more
biggest letdown.
disappointing to me than Call of Duty Ghosts, amazingly. But I kind of knew what I was getting into with that. That's not a letdown. But yeah, your winner, biggest letdown 2013. We all kind of knew this before this even started, but SimCity, man, R.I.P.
Rip.
R.I.P. SimCity.
So
Rip it,
really
baby.
disappointed.
Well, never.
SimCity
SimCity can never
might
say
be-
it never won anything. SimCity, can never say it never won anything.
SimCity might be the reason I don't get that hype for new games anymore.
That's
It
true.
really
Like,
It
ruined
Yeah.
literally killed my
It might
excitement.
be. I wasn't
It's,
that hyped about
my
BF4.
God.
I was excited for it, but you
Origins just sent me an ad to buy SimCity Cities tomorrow. Are you fucking serious?
There you go.
This
You're
is
watching
their
the
response.
podcast.
It knows. It knows.
Are they watching right now?
Like, we're just gonna keep doing this
Yeah.
shit. And if we play it as straight as possible, everybody's just gonna think this is normal.
Yeah. So, all right, guys.